Wait until you see what you can make with dollar store hot pads. I'm selecting 3 hot pads in rotating colors of black and taupe facing good side up. After all 3 looped hooks are being cut off, I'm applying hot glue along the inside of an end hot pad, then overlapping the middle black hot pad over the glue. A black hot pad is being positioned on top of an end one, then moving down about an inch so the bottom has some foldable overhang. Flipping over all the hot pads, I'm applying hot glue to the overhang area, then folding the end to create a clean edge. And my new remote control holder is ready for business. I chose black and taupe since it looks great with my home decor. I'm cutting the loop off of one taupe hot pad, then folding it in half, securing the shape with a clothespin. Hot glue is being run underneath the clothespin to the end of the edge. And I can never complain about a pan handle being too hot ever again. I'm dry fitting a pretty dollar store placemat good side up along with 2 coordinating hot pads on top placed side by side. Flipping the placemat good side down, hot glue is being applied along the twine, then the top edge of the placemat is being folded over into the glue and held in place until secure. Hot glue is being applied along the edge below both clothespins, leaving the top edge unglued. My mini work apron is ready to help me stay clean while I craft. A coordinating hot pad with pattern side facing up is being placed in the center of a pretty dollar store tea towel. I'm drawing a middle horizontal line along the hot pad, then sewing a simple straight line along that mark. After folding the tea towel in half, I'm sewing on a coordinating button to the top of the hot pad on the side without the loop. And my new hanging kitchen tea towel looks stunning hanging on my kitchen stove handle. A cute pattern hot pad is being folded in half with the loop intact at one end. I'm now running a line of hot glue to close the edge while leaving the top open. And my glasses now have a safe and cute holder that can be attached to my keychain. The size is so perfect for glasses, you'd think a hot pad was invented for this very purpose. I hope this inspires you to pick up a few cute hot pads to see what you can make for your home.
Begin by taking a standard size bathroom towel, fold it in half. Next, grab the top left corner and fold it in towards the center. Do the same with the bottom right corner so they overlap slightly. Fold this in half. At the bottom, begin rolling up the towel towards you and tuck the last corner of both towels into the center. Voila! A neatly tucked towel ready to be put away. If you're looking for a fun way to display your tea towels, with the towel face down, grab either side and fold it into thirds. Take both sides and fold them in the center so that one end is slightly over top of the other. Place your first tea towel into the center of your second and scrunch the first one. Fold the second tea towel around the first to keep it secure and slide it into a drawer handle or an oven handle like mine to display a pretty bow for your guests to admire in your kitchen.
Here are 3 pot holder hacks you can use. This project was inspired by Mom Home Guide on Hometalk. Grab a coordinating kitchen towel and pot holder. Fold the towel and lay it out flat and place the pot holder right in the center. Pin or clip it in place. Then head over to the sewing machine and sew it straight down the middle. Now grab a button and sew that onto the pot holder. This cute towel will now hook onto the handle of your stove or your dishwasher. It looks great and it's functional. Sew on a piece of elastic, creating 2 loops. Flip the pot holder over and use some fabric glue to attach a long piece of ribbon. Slide your toothbrush and toothpaste into the elastic, fold it in half, and tie the pouch together with a ribbon. Toss this in your bag and you're ready to go. Grab a pot holder and some quick dry fabric glue. Fold it in half and glue it on just 2 of the sides. Hold it in place until the glue is completely dry. This will slip right over the handle of the pan and you can pick it up and protect your hands. Those are 3 hacks you can do with pot holders. I hope this inspired you to make something.
I found this old stool by the side of the road. It was out in someone's trash, and once I saw the legs, I knew that this could be made over to be something new and stunning again. So actually, the top of the stool wasn't even attached, so it was very easy to take apart. And then once I had that off, I came in with my sander and some 80 grit sandpaper and sanded the stool down to the bare wood. I did leave a little bit of the finish behind in certain spots just to give it that rustic French country vibe, but I am not going to be refinishing the stool with any stain or paint. I'm going to be leaving the natural bare wood exposed. I've been seeing this trend in a lot of places and I actually really like it. So once it was done being sanded, I just took a clean cloth and wiped away all the dust and the debris from the sanding. So for the top of this stool, I'm actually going to be taking the base part here and I'm going to be tracing it onto some thick 3-inch foam. So I'm just going to place it here, and with a permanent marker, I'm just going to trace around the stool top. With that done, I'm going to come in with an X-Acto knife and I'm going to cut my foam. So to cut foam this thick, what you do is you have to cut it into layers. So I'm going to go through with one layer of my X-Acto knife, and then once that's done, I peel open the foam a little bit to reveal the next layer, and then I just keep doing this, cutting down and down until I've cut through the entire piece of foam, and then I can gently rip it apart here. With my foam cut, I am then going to go in with some cotton batting. This is just 1/4 inch thick cotton batting, and I'm going to lay it over top. This is going to give our stool a nice plush feel when we put our feet on it. I want to cut my cotton batting so that it is 3 inches wider on each side of my foam. Then I'm going to take the base of the stool and I'm going to staple the batting and the foam to it. You can go ahead and do this all in one step with the fabric that you use, but I like to staple my cotton batting down first just so I know it stays in place exactly where I want it. And we just do a rough staple there. I am then going to use this waffle weave tea towel for the top of my stool. I love these waffle weave tea towels. They're actually really trendy right now, and it's a lot cheaper than going out and buying fabric. So I'm going to take my tea towel here and I'm just going to lay it over top, nice and even on top of my stool base. And then I'm going to flip it over. To attach my tea towel, I'm going to start in all the corners. So I'm going to lift the corner up and staple it, making sure that I pull the tea towel really tight so that it's nice and tight and there are no gaps or spaces in the fabric. So I'm going to staple all the corners here first. And then once I have all the corners done, I am going to go back to my first original corner and I'm going to lift the tea towel up and pull it really tight over top of the first original corner that I made. Then I'm going to go around and do this on all the other corners, pulling it nice and tight back over my first fold and stapling into place. Once I've done all the corners, I can then go around and do the sides of the tea towel, pulling it up nice and tight, making sure that the fabric is pulled really tight over my stool. Once this is done here, I can take the stool top and place it back on the stool. Now to attach it to the base of my stool, there wasn't really any pre-drilled holes or anything like that. So I just went around with my crown stapler and I just stapled the tea towel to the underneath side of the stool. This isn't the most secure method, but I didn't really want to drill holes into my stool. I am so happy with how this stool turned out. I couldn't ask for a better turnout from something that I just found at the side of the road in the trash. You would never know that this was somebody's garbage.
Grab some pot holders the next time you're at the dollar store. I picked up 3 sets of pot holders the last time I was at the dollar store, and I have a few projects I want to make with them. First up, I want to use this pretty blue one, but I don't need the loop at the top. I'm going to use my seam rippers to remove the thread until the loop is undone. I don't want to cut off this long piece of trim, so I'm going to fold it over and use a little hot glue to hold it in place. Now I want to fold this into a cone shape. I'm going to go from the corner to corner the long way so that my cone can be a little bit larger. I'm going to roll over the bottom 2 corners until they create a cone, leaving the top part open. I want to add a little bit of trim, so I'm going to use this great plaid ribbon that I have. I can now slip in a set of silverware and they're going to fit perfectly. This makes my place settings look so much prettier when it's time for company. I'm starting by removing the loop and then I'm going to glue it into the cone shape. I'm going to use a little bit of lace to trim this one up.
I can hold it in place with the hot glue, and then I'm just going to tuck the ends under the opening around the top and around the back. Since I want to hang this cone, I'm going to use the same lace to make a little loop on the back. Now I can slip in my scissors and the other things that I use daily. This is the perfect little place to get these things off my counter and hung up neatly where I can easily get to them. I want to use this great feather pot holder and add a button to start. To find the spot where I need the button, I folded the pot holder over and brought the loop to the front. Now I know exactly where I need to place the button. With the button in place, I want to add some pouches inside so that I can store little things in them. I'm going to use clear sandwich bags and my hot glue gun. I want the bags to open on either end, so I'm running a line of hot glue down the center of the pot holder, and now I can line up the bag with the end and then stick it right down into the glue. After the glue is dried, I can trim off the bottom of the bag, and it's still going to stay sealed because of that line of hot glue. I'm going to add 3 more bags the same way so that I have 2 bags opening at each end of the pot holder. To finish off the center where that glue is, I'm going to use a strip of burlap ribbon to just cover it up. I'm going to make this one into a little sewing kit, but there are so many things that I could use this for. It's perfect really at home or for when I travel. For my last project, I'm going to make one more thing out of the pot holders. To start off, I've got this dish towel and I want to add a little dab of glue to the fold line in the middle. With the towel glued, I'm going to fold over the pot holder and glue the fold of the pot holder to the fold of the towel. You can also see that I've already added a button the same way I did for the last project. Once this glue has dried, it's that easy and it's ready to hang. I love this type of towel. They're so great to have in the kitchen and are so handy.
For this project, what you're going to need is an old family recipe. You're going to scan the recipe and print it onto transfer paper. When you do that, you want to make sure that you mirror the image so that it's backwards, and then you're going to follow the instructions on the manufacturer's paperwork to figure out how hot you need to have your iron or your easy press. Okay, you're going to want to cover the image with a Teflon sheet, a pillowcase, or a t-shirt. And I'm going to be transferring this onto a dishcloth. And following the instructions, I'm just going to apply heat. You're going to want to remove the paper while it's still hot. Now that you have your recipe on your dishcloth, you can create a beautiful themed gift basket for someone. Since this is an applesauce cake, this would be good for a tea party, so I'm including it with a tea-themed gift basket. I'm starting with a beautiful floral table runner. I'm going to go ahead and just put this at the bottom here. Going to give it some padding. And then some matching napkins with beautiful floral napkin rings. And of course, the dishcloth wants to be right front and center, I think. Some teaspoons. Some tea. Cute little whisk. Let's put it like that. Teapot. Teacup and saucer. See if I can squeeze that back here. Maybe put the teacup right here. And a beautiful little doily just to even out the side here. And let's do some flowers for the table. There we go. And there you have it. Beautiful gift basket for the lady in your life or any tea lover. What you're going to do is just go ahead and add it to a wonderful gift basket for someone in your life. I'm going to create a Ray Dunn / baking themed gift basket here. I started by lining the bottom with another dishcloth, and now I'm just going to add some of my favorite things. And that's it. You have a fun baking themed gift basket for someone in your life.
I picked up a few inexpensive pot holders in a couple different colors and styles, and we are going to make some accessories. I'm going going to use these two black pot holders with the loops on. On the sewing machine, I am just going to sew these together, leaving the top open. So I'm going to run a stitch along 3 sides. These pot holders are a little bit thinner, so they work well with my sewing machine here. But again, you could use hot glue or you could hand stitch this together. Now I sewed them together and I left the loops open on the outside. So I grabbed some trim with fun rivets on it, and I am just going to use this as a handle for the bag. So I'm just going to glue a loop around the loop on the pot holder on each side. Then I'm going to add a little bit more of the trim to the front of it for fun. You could use a piece of chain, a piece of rope, some ribbon, fabric, anything you have. I really liked how this looked. This makes a great little bag. It's going to hold a few things. I can take it with me. I'm going to cut off the loop because we don't need the loop for this project. Now this pot holder is a little bit thick, so I'm opting for hot glue here. If you do have a sewing machine that works for this, you can definitely sew this, but hot glue is going to work just fine. So I'm really just going to fold the pot holder in half, secure it with hot glue, and leave an opening on the top. This is really a blank slate. You can embellish this however you want. I have some iron-on letters here I picked up at the craft store, and I am just going to add one to the front and iron it on. I love that this glasses case is nice and padded. My daughter can take it to the pool with her this summer or put it in her backpack and her glasses are not going to get damaged. I want to leave the loop on one of them, but I'm going to cut it off the other one. Now I'm going to lay one on top of the other, just overlapping about halfway, and I'm going to sew the edges together. I'm going to add a fun button to the back of this. I'm just going to sew it on so I can close the clutch. Now on the front of this, I need to fold it over and secure the edges. Again, this is a little too thick for my sewing machine, so I am just going to use some hot glue to secure the edges. This is a really versatile little clutch. It's going to fold over, the loop is going to hook onto the button, and I have a storage compartment in front and another one on the back. This works for a pair of sunglasses or a few essentials. You can throw it in your bag. It's nice and quilted, so it's going to protect whatever you have inside. I hope this inspired you to pick up some pot holders or upcycle some that you already have into cute accessories. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.